जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी
या गोपी जन बल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना
यमुना तेरा बनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी
जय गोपी जन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
सदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना
यमुना तेरा बनचारी
मुना तीरा वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत्रस्तस्य भगवान कृष्ण अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिव प्रभुपाद की
जय
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत्रस्तस्य भगवान श्रीला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज प्रभुपाद की
जय
श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय
सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय सामवेद
जय
भक्त वृंद की सामवेद भक्त वृंद
जय
पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो ओम नमः भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमः भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Narada's Instruction, Srimad Bhagavatam, Text 22. Idam hi punsastapasa srutasya va
इदं हि पुंसास्तपसश्रुतस्य
Sishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayo
शिष्टस्य सुप्तस्य च बुद्धिदत्तयो
avichitortha kavibhirnirupito
अविच्युतोऽर्था कविभिर्निरूपितो
yaduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam
यवुत्तमश्लोका गुणानुवर्णनम्
Tam hi punsastapasa strutasya va
इदं हि पुंसास्तपसश्रुतस्य वा
Shishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayoho
शिष्टस्य सूक्तस्य च बुद्धिदत्तयोः
अभिचितोऽर्थ कविभिर्निरूपितो
अविच्युतोऽर्था कविभिर्निरूपितो
यदुत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवर्णनम्
यदुत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवर्णनम्
Please recite.
इदं हि पुंसस्तपसः श्रुतस्य वा
Idam hi pumsa tapasa srutasya va
स्विष्टस्य सूक्तस्य च बुद्धिदत्तयोः
tasya suktasya
अविच्युतोऽर्धः कविभिर्निरूपितो
ichitortha kavivir nirupito
यदुत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवर्णनम्
uttam shloka gunānuvarnanam.
Idam hi punsastapasah shrutasva
Idam hi
इदं
pumsa tapasa
पुंसः
srutasya va
shrestasta suktasya cha buddhi datayo
sristasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayo
avichyuto artha kavibhir nirupito
vichitortha kavivir nirupito
yuddhatam shloka gunanuvarnanam.
yaduttama shloka gunānuvarnanam.
idam hi punsha tapsah saptasya va
Idam hi pumsa tapasa srutasya va
svistasya suktasya cha buddhi datyo
sristasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayo
avichutortha kavibhi nirupito
avichitortha kavivir nirupito
yaduttam shloka gunanuvarnanam
yaduttama shloka gunānuvarnanam. Idam, this,
this
he,
he
certainly,
certainly
pumsaha,
पुंसः
of everyone,
of everyone
of tapasaha,
tapasah
by dint of austerities,
by
by
dint
dint
of
Of austerities.
yutasya,
austerity
tasya
by dint of study of Vedas,
by
by
dint of
dint
study of Vedas
va,
va
or,
or
yutasya, sistasya,
svistasya
tasya
sacrifice,
sacrifice
sacrifice
tasya,
tasya
spiritual education,
spiritual
ritual
education
cha, and
and
buddhi,
buddhi
culture of knowledge,
culture
tattayoho,
tattayoh
charity,
charity
abhichyutaha,
avichuta
infallible,
infallible
arthaha,
artha
interest,
interest
kavihi,
kavibhi
by the recognized learned person,
by the recognized learned person
nirupitaha,
nirupitah
included,
included
yat,
yat
what,
what
Uttam-shloka,
Uttam-shloka
the Lord
the Lord
is described by choice poetry,
who is described by choice poetry
Guna-anuvarnanam,
Gunanuvarnanam
description of transcendental qualities of,
description of the transcendental qualities of
translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of advancement of knowledge, namely austerity, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymns, and charity, culminates in the transcendental description of the Lord, who is defined in choice poetry. purpose. Human intellect is developed for advancement of learning in art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, economics, politics, etc. By culture of such knowledge, the human society can attain perfection of life. This perfection of life culminates in the realization of Supreme Being, Vishnu. The Shruti therefore directs that those who are actually advanced in learning should aspire for the service of Lord Vishnu. Unfortunately, persons who are enamored by the external beauty of the Vishnu Maya do not understand that culmination of perfection or self-realization depends on Vishnu. Vishnu Maya means sense enjoyment, which is transient and miserable. Those who are entrapped by Vishnu Maya utilize advancement of knowledge for sense enjoyment. Sri Narada Muni has explained that all paraphernalia of the cosmic universe is but an emanation from the Lord out of his different energies, because the Lord has set in motion by his inconceivable energy the actions and reactions of created manifestation. They have come out of his energy, they rest on his energy, and after annihilation, they merge into him. Nothing is therefore different from him, but at the same time, Lord is always different from them. Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nite Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasyate Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dear devotees, I welcome all of you to our morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. Today we are reading a very, very important verse where Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing that if we teach physics, chemistry, philosophy, psychology, economics, politics in our colleges and universities, but that doesn't produce people who can start glorifying Krishna, then simply it is a wasteful endeavor. It's a wasteful endeavor. Because Srila Naradaji in this verse is saying, all of you can repeat, learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge,
infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge,
namely austerities,
mainly
austerities,
study of the Vedas,
study of the Vedas,
sacrifice, chanting of hymns,
chanting of hymns,
and charity,
culminates
in the transcendental description of the Lord,
in the transcendental descriptions of the Lord,
who is defined in choice poetry. So, what a beautiful verse. It says that we are well educated, but we don't take pleasure in Srimad Bhagavatam. Then you are not educated. Somebody may be illiterate, but he takes pleasure in Srimad Bhagavatam, so he is really educated. You have attained education. How do you know that you have attained education? Because everything must culminate in the transcendental description of the Lord. Uttam-shloka gunanu varnanam. Uttam-shloka. Uttam-shloka is Krishna. Why he is Uttam-shloka? Because he is glorified by choicest poetry. Uttama, the best. shloka, hymns, or poetry. So he who is described by best of poetry. So if I have attained education, but I do not have spontaneous quality to glorify Krishna directly, that means whatever education I had are simply a subject matter in a trash can. What you see in a trash can? Nothing. Dirt that is meant to be thrown into the largest storage of garbage. That is trash. Once, when Sanatan Goswami came in contact with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he and his brother Rupa Goswami, so they decided, because Sanatan Goswami was the prime minister in the government of Nawab Hussain Shah, and Rupa Goswami was the finance minister in the Nawab Hussain Shah's government. You can imagine. And Nawab Hussain was very much dependent on Sanatan Goswami. But Sanatan Goswami decided that he would now give up everything after he met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Ramkeli. That meeting was specifically ordained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Rupa and Sanatana, after meeting Lord, they decided enough is enough of the material endeavor. So you become prime minister, you become finance minister, still you are attached to those positions. That means, this is the nature of this world now. People cling onto their position until they enter into ICU. How shocking is this? Here we see Sanatana and Rupa Goswami, young people, and after meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are giving up their position and they want to take direct shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They will proceed to, both of them will proceed to Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami would meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Mahaprabhu was returning from Vrindavan in Prayag. And he would instruct Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would instruct Rupa Goswami in the science of devotional service. And then Mahaprabhu, as he returned from Prayag to Kasi, in Kasi he would meet Sanatan Goswami, and there he would explain to Sanatan Goswami the science of Krishna, the truth of Krishna, Krishna concept of infinity. So he would explain to Sanatan Goswami. One is devotional service, the other is ontology of the absolute truth. So Sanatan Goswami obviously was very wealthy, but he was imprisoned by the king because he requested king. In fact, after meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave up his official position in the pretext that he is sick. And the king would send a Vaidya, a doctor, to his house. And when doctor came, he saw Sanatan Goswami has no disease. He's reading Srimad Bhagavatam, surrounded by others. So king persuaded Sanatan Goswami to take up position because he was very much dependent, because he didn't listen. Then he put him in the jail. And by some Special means he liberated himself from the jail because Rupa Goswami kept some coins for him and he could bribe the jailer. And in this world, it is not today or it happened only now. We are seeing corruption. Corruption was there everywhere, every time, because people are anyway attracted to dhana, jana, sundari, kavita, jagadisa. Anybody can be trapped. Anybody can be trapped by jana, anybody can be trapped by dhana, anybody can be trapped by sundari, anybody can be trapped by kavita or fame, anybody can be trapped by power. Everybody, because this whole thing is there within our heart, and it doesn't take much time to be trapped by one of them. We are actually being trapped. So Sanatana Goswami, before, when he decided to leave everything, he had a touchstone, and he left that touchstone or threw that touchstone into the trash can. And Brahmana, he had a personal assistant, a Brahmana, and this touchstone was dazzling. And Sanatana Goswami threw just like it has no value. And the Brahmana went there and he picked up that touchstone. So this is actually touchstone. Then he tasted it. Because if you touch any metal, that metal will become gold or some very costly jewelry if you touch with a touchstone. And the Brahmana verified actually it is giving whatever you desire, touchstone. And he was thinking that Sanatana Goswami is so erudite scholar of Sanskrit literature. He's prime minister. He's giving up everything. He has thrown this also like a trash. Then he was a little inquisitive. So he took that while holding that touchstone. He came in front of Sanatana Goswami and asked, "Dear sir, did you really threw this?" He said, "Yes, I threw it. You know what it is, right?" "Yes." And then Brahmana asked, "Sir, what treasure that you have that you are able to throw everything? You threw away your powerful position. You have thrown all wealth of your household. And this is a small thing you can carry wherever you go. It may help you. Why you are throwing that?" And Sanatana Goswami asked this question. "Do you really want to know that answer?" And Brahmana says, yes, I know. I want to know. What that makes you to throw as precious as the touchstone? And Sanatana Goswami told Brahmana, "I'll give you the answer provided you also part away with that touchstone." So Brahmana realized Sanatana Goswami is a hard taskmaster. If he wants to know the answer, then he has to throw the touchstone. And Brahmana did so, and then Sanatana Goswami explained the confidentiality and the invaluable nature of Krishna consciousness. Anybody who ultimately is able to describe Krishna's glory takes prime interest in glorifying Krishna. Eh? Anybody who realizes the passion and ignorance, they are my real enemy. My real enemy is not outside my house, outside of me, outside my purview. My real enemy is sitting within me in the form of passion and ignorance. Okay. He only would be able to appreciate Krishna consciousness. It requires Krishna consciousness to understand Krishna consciousness. And in the first paragraph, Prabhupada is saying that how that it is by Krishna's internal potency, everything manifests. Unlimited universes, they manifest. And there is a very famous verse, Parasya Saktir Vividhaiva Sruyate. Parasya Sakti, Krishna's divine energy, Vividhaiva Sruyate. It can manifest in many ways, just like same electrical energy can cool your room, can also heat your room. Same electrical energy. If you put an AC, your room is cool, and if you put a heater, your room is heated. You can increase your temperature. So this is Prabhupada used to give this analogy to explain how Krishna's internal potency can manifest. Vividhaiva sruyate. Vividhaiva. In a multifaceted manner, Krishna's energy can act. And whatever Krishna manifests, they rest in Krishna's energy. Although Krishna is present in each and every aspect of his energy, still is different from this energy. What is the meaning of that? For example, I have a touchstone. Suppose I say this touchstone is mine and I'm attached to it. Certainly that is not mine. If it is mine, it's mine. Why should I be attached to it? Try to understand this concept. If something is mine, it will be always mine. No, I don't think like that. Even I know my memory may desert me at any time. My intelligence may desert me at any time. And what to speak of my wealth, my family, they will always desert me. They're not mine. And what is mine, I'm never caring for it. That which is mine, that is my relationship with Krishna, Krishna consciousness. That is mine. But I'm not bothered about that. I'm bothered about everything. Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna, but he is not in them. Why? Because it is his. He's not attached. He's absolutely detached from everything that. This whole world is Krishna's. Everybody enjoys this world and they chastise Krishna. So normally, suppose, I have employed you and every time you go out and speak against me, what will happen to me? I will forgive that fellow for some time, but after some time I will say, get lost. But Krishna, from time immemorial, he's allowing us to enjoy his energy. Although, every opportune moment, we only criticize him, scold him. And Krishna is not affected. So that is why, although everything is his, he is not in them. He is not attached to anything. So this aspect of Krishna's transcendental quality, is something that we must ponder over. When advancement of knowledge is applied in the service of the Lord, the whole process becomes absolute. The personality of Godhead and his transcendental name, fame, glory, etc. are all non-different from him. Therefore, all the sages and devotees of Lord have recommended that the subject matter of art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, and all other branches of knowledge should be wholly and solely applied in the service of the Lord. Art, literature, poetry, painting, etc. may be used in glorifying the Lord. The fiction writers, poets, and celebrated literatures, are generally engaged in writing of sensuous subject. But if they turn towards service of the Lord, they can describe the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a friend called Bankim Chandra. He was a very famous novelist. Now also, he is in the era of mid of 19th century. We have crossed 20th century. Now we are in 21st century. And still his novels are very famous. Because they are subject matter of his novels are sensuous matter. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur came to know that this great novelist, Bankim Chandra, is writing a novel about Krishna. And he has presented Krishna as a playboy, shockingly. And as soon as Bhaktivinoda Thakur heard, he approached him. He sat with him day in, day out, explained to him who is Krishna. He explained to him what is Krishna consciousness. So Bankim Chandra threw his manuscript and started writing again, understanding who is Krishna. This was the power of a great Vaishnava Acharya like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They can convert an expert in sensuous subject matters like Bankim Chandra into writing about Krishna properly. So that's why it says, Mukam karoti bachalam pangu langhayate girim yat krupatamaham bande Sri Gurum Vinatarinam Paramananda Madhava. So dear devotees, anybody who has received the mercy of Guru and Krishna, even if his mukha, deaf, mukha means dumb, mukha. Mukha means dumb. Mukam karoti bachalam. You would speak fluently on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Mukam karoti bachalam. Pangu langhayate girim. For a lame man to cross gigantic Himalayan mountain is most difficult. Similarly, we are all pangu. We are all incapable in controlling our senses. But we can control our senses. Pangu langhayate girim. Et krupatamaham bande. Whenever, whoever has received your causeless mercy, et krupatamaham bande Sri Gurum Vinatarinam. I offer my respectful obeisances to such a kind and compassionate spiritual master, Paramananda Madhava, the ultimate master of everyone, Sri Krishna, Paramananda Madhava. So, even Bankim Chandra could understand who is Krishna. by the mercy of Guru, Srila Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji. Valmiki was a great poet. Similarly, Vyasadeva is a great writer. Both of them have absolutely engaged themselves in delineating the transcendental activities of the Lord, and by doing so have become immortal. The Prabhupada is saying that you want to write about Krishna. You want to compose poem, then compose poem about Krishna. Jai Shri Shri Lakshmi Narsimha Bhagavan ki, Srila Giriraj Krishna ki, Shri Shri Radha Ramanju ki, Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari. So dear devotees, in this world, we have seen great personalities. They give up everything to glorify Krishna. Hanumanji always rejoiced service to his master Lord Rama. That was his purpose of living. His purpose of living is to serve Lord Ram 24 hours a day. That was his mood. He remained celibate just to serve the Lord. He remained celibate just to serve the Lord. Naradji, wherever he is going, he is broadcasting the message of Krishna. Everywhere he is making people devotees. He made Dhruva Maharaj as a pure devotee. He made Prahlad Maharaj a pure devotee. He made Mrugari a pure devotee. Whom he has not instructed, he instructed Yudhishthira Maharaj. He has instructed literally everyone. Such a great personality. And by his example, he walks the talk of Krishna consciousness. So people do not realize what is Krishna consciousness. We have Prithu Maharaj. He beautified the earth by setting up an agrarian civilization, a civilization based on agriculture. But he was always glorified. He always glorified Krishna. He performed 100 Ashwamedha Yajna to glorify Krishna. 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. We have seen how our acharyas, Ramanujacharya was very much attached in preaching Krishna consciousness. He was very dutiful, or he was always wanting to serve his guru. Although his guru was born in a lower caste, Ramanujacharya was born in a Brahmin caste, but he accepted a guru in Sudra caste because this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Kiva nasi kiva vipra, Sudra kena noy, Jai Krishna tattvavata, Sai Guru. Definition of Guru is that whoever knows the science of Krishna consciousness is Guru. Doesn't matter what is his background. Doesn't matter. If you are knowledgeable in science of Krishna consciousness, you are Guru. Jai Krishna Tattvaveta Sai Guru. So Ramanujacharya invited his spiritual master for the lunch. The spiritual master came, and Ramanujacharya on that day got busy or occupied in something else. So his wife fed his spiritual master. Okay. And his spiritual master, after accepting lunch, left. But something very derogatory his wife did. His wife cleansed the place where his Ramanujacharya's spiritual master was eating. With cow dung and urine, he cleansed that place. When Ramanujacharya saw the ill behavior of his wife, he started thinking what he must do. And then he suggested to his wife, why don't you go to your maike? Normally women, they like very much their maike, their father's place. And Ramanujacharya's wife jumped. My husband is telling to go to my maike? Normally husbands don't tell because they always expect some service from their wife. They don't want to tell their wives to go to their, and thus the last thing will come to their mind. And here Ramanujacharya said, please go. And the wife is dancing. My husband is so nice. Wow. And then she packed her luggage in no time and just left for her maike, for her father's place. And that's it. Gone. Next day, Ramanujacharya took sannyas. For Krishna's service, we can do anything, but provided we are very serious. Just because you don't like your wife, you cannot say, oh, now I will take sannyas. And then I will do homenaging. That is nonsense. Ramanujacharya preached Krishna consciousness in every place. There is a place called Melkote. Because Ramanujacharya converted everyone into Vaishnavism. In his time, Saivites were ruling. The king was a Saivite. King planned in many ways to kill Ramanujacharya. There are many great stories. Sometime maybe I will take some 2-3 classes to glorify Ramanujacharya. But today, I don't have time because I have also something else to do now. So Ramanujacharya, he went to Melkote. So he was preaching in the area, Tiruchirappalli, Chennai, mostly in Tamil Nadu area. And there, the king was very inimical to him. So he escaped and came to Melkote. Melkote is a place that's almost an hour or 1.5 hour drive from Bangalore. So you see where he came. Of course, Bangalore is hardly 200-300 kilometers from Chennai, but it is in the border of Tamil Nadu anyway. So he came and hid himself in Melkote. That time in Melkote, the local aborigines, Adivasis, were living. And when they saw an effulgent sannyasi living there, immediately they came and they started associating with him. Ramanujacharya converted all of them into pure Vaishnavas. All of them to pure Vaishnavas. This is called very wonderful. A Vaishnava can use any opportunity to convert everyone into Vaishnava. After all, everybody is naturally a Vaishnava. We don't know it. An atheist is a Vaishnava, a Savite is a Vaishnava, a Muslim is a Vaishnava, a Christian is a Vaishnava. Everybody is a Vaishnava, but they don't know it. The moment you know, you are self-realized. Similarly, science and philosophy also should be applied in the service of the Lord. There is no use presenting dry speculative theories for sense gratification. Philosophy and science should be engaged to establish the glory of the Lord. Advanced people are eager to understand the absolute truth through the medium of science. Therefore, a great scientist should endeavor to prove the existence of the Lord on a scientific basis. Prabhupada gave a task to Bhaktivedanta Institute to establish Krishna consciousness as a science. That's a topic that, I can go on speaking, but let me not speak today. Similarly, philosophical speculations should be utilized to establish supreme truth as sentient and all-powerful. Lord Kapila has explained 24 material elements in connection to Krishna as a basic building block of the universe. How this universe was manifested. And he has explained 24 elements, the basic building block of this universe. Similarly, all other branches of knowledge should always be engaged in the service of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita also the same is affirmed. All knowledge not engaged in the service of the Lord is but knee science. Real utilization of advanced knowledge is to establish the glories of the Lord. That is the real import. Scientific knowledge engaged in the service of the Lord, and all similar activities are all factually Hari Kirtana or glorification of the Lord. So, dear devotees, this particular verse is a defining verse. Why? Because normally, yad evetaro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanu. So, yad evetaro jana. Yadadacharati srestha tatta evetaro jana. Yad acharati srestha. Those who are learned people, whatever they follow, ordinary people would follow. And whatever he proves, ordinary people will accept. And hence, this verse is saying, learned circles, srestha, they have concluded that ultimate aim of education is to glorify Krishna in choice poetry. They have established, whether it is Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimbarka Swami, Vishnu Swami, everyone have established Krishna is the absolute truth. And we must follow it. Our founder Acharya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, established Krishna consciousness all over the world on this basis. The learned circles have stated that ultimate purpose of life, ultimate purpose of education, ultimate purpose of perfection, ultimate purpose of studying Vedas, ultimate purpose of austerity, everything is finally to understand the Krishna Tattva, explain to others, and live by Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any question? Tarun, is there any question?
Yes, sir. There is one question by Abhishek Jaiswal Prabhu.
Hmm.
He asked, why are philanthropic activities extended selfishness?
Because philanthropic activities are completely devoid of Krishna consciousness. As I've been telling every time, anything that is not connected to Krishna is hallucination. So philanthropic activity is as good as rubbing or stealing or anything, because they're all hallucination. Try to understand what is hallucination.
Then Riddhi Mataji is asking what to do if we keep getting deviated from the path.
Don't deviate, Mataji. Don't deviate, because life is very short. The best is not to deviate. Best is not to deviate, because life is very short. At any time, life can, there can be an end to this life in this particular body. And we don't know whether we'll get another opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness. So make use of this life in best possible manner, preaching Krishna consciousness, understanding Krishna consciousness, practicing Krishna consciousness. And there is deviation, then approach the teacher. Teacher will tell you how to be reinstated.
Chit Prabhu is asking, how can we surrender to Krishna permanently?
Who?
Archit Gupta Prabhu is asking.
Follow the teacher. Following Sadhu Guru Shastra. In the beginning, you must follow the teacher. Ask your teacher how to surrender to Krishna.
Then Abhishek Jaiswal Prabhu is asking, in the beginning, can we serve thinking of my own happiness? Sometimes it's difficult to realize that I am doing this service for Lord's pleasure because of the passion and ignorance inside. Does it completely defect the purpose of my devotional service?
No, as long as you are following your teacher, doesn't matter. You should have that strong affinity for your teacher. So you must establish a very loving relationship with your teacher. Feel happy by getting instruction, by getting chastisement, by getting corrected, by getting appreciation from your teacher. Our philosophy is very personal philosophy. The teacher plays a very important role. Next.
Dilip Prabhu is asking, what if someone don't believe in touchstone in the story?
I can't help. Rascals will never believe in anything. But they believe in their own hallucination. It is like if you go to asylum, Agra asylum, Ranchi asylum. So there, when you enter, everybody would think that you are a mad fellow. So all mad people are living there, but whoever comes there, they will think, oh, a mad fellow has come. You can't help. We can only pray for such people and try to distribute as much compassion possible. Doubting Thomas, neither they have they can enjoy happiness in this world nor in the next. In this life or in the next life. Doubting Thomas, they always suffer.
Jivnesh Prabhu is asking, can you please throw light on import of yesterday's magician story?
Magician's story was that whatever magicians performed, the queen and king, they thought this is real. They killed each other. But it was amazing. In this world, nobody is killed. This so-called idea of that I being humiliated, I being robbed, I being meted with injustice, these are all hallucinations. Intelligent persons realizes this must be hallucination. These are the effect of passion and ignorance. So learns to tolerate passion and ignorance and acts in Krishna consciousness until and unless he becomes completely freed from passion and ignorance.
Ritu Mataji is asking, Prabhuji, should we preach to people who don't believe in Shastra and challenge the instructions of Shastras?
Now you preach as much as they can accept. Always approach an innocent to preach. There are many people out there, they are seeking spiritual life. Let us save them first, then thinking of those who are argumentative, those who are simply hallucinating. They have no sense of serenity or sanity. So it's better to focus on innocent people. There are out there a lot of innocent people looking for spiritual life. I think we should stop here. Thank you very much for joining me. We'll continue this discussion tomorrow again because this is a very important verse. Some of the points I have not talked about, I'll talk tomorrow. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Vancha kalpatarvesha kripa sindhu vevacha patitanang pavan